Hello everybody and welcome back to Grand Bazaar. I am continuing on here on the 25th of fall. This is where we left off in the last video. And I planned for this to sort of be a miscellaneous last minute look at fall. I have actually played all the way up until the end of the season, and we're gonna be fast forwarding shortly, but I had mentioned in the last video that it was Freya's birthday today, and I gave her a present. I continued to play, and then when I had walked into my house later on in the evening, we got a little event with Freya for her birthday. And this is going to happen after you get married, on your birthday, your spouse's birthday, and on your child's birthday when your child is old enough. Now, for me, I had to wait until after 8 p.m. to enter my house. And once I did, I got this little cutscene here. The time might depend on which spouse that you have, although I'm not entirely sure. I was busy doing farm work, and apparently Freya was in here keeping busy cooking up a storm. She made one dish from every category. I may have made a little too much. I just had too much fun cooking for us. I feel a little bit guilty that you are having to cook on your own birthday, but if you enjoyed it, I'm happy, as long as you're happy on your birthday. So just a cute little cutscene, little celebration with your spouse and your child, if you have one. And then after the dinner is over, the game is going to force you to go to bed. You are not able to go back outside and continue playing. So just keep that in mind. If you have a birthday in your family, be very careful about entering your house later on in the evening if you still have stuff to do. With that out of the way, I am now going to fast forward to the last day of the month, and we'll have a better look at some of the things that I did this week to wind down our fall season. So here we are on the last day of fall. The game is going to very kindly remind us that the Pumpkin Festival is happening today, and to make sure that we harvest all of our crops before winter comes along and makes our fields completely unusable. I'll start the day off by giving my lovely wife one of the last remaining butterflies that I have. And because the children are going to be coming by, I'm not going to go too far from the house. I'm going to stick around because they do come pretty early. And I already have this dessert in my storage. I have 2 of them, which is perfect because I only need 2 of them for this festival. And we're just going to kind of have a look and see how things are doing now that we're at the end of the fall season. My eggplants and my yams waited until the very last day to come in and give me one final harvest, which is great. I love that I was very efficient with my planting and my watering. I think I was able to get probably the max amount of harvests possible for when I planted all of these seeds. And I didn't miss out on the final harvest, so I'm gonna be taking a little bit of time today to pick all of these. My final yellow pepper crop came in yesterday, so I spent a lot of time yesterday picking all of those, and then I used my sickle to destroy all of the crops and clear this field out completely. And we also have one last serving of fall tea leaves off of our tea plant, which is excellent. I decided to plant a secondary tea plant. I had put some leaves in the windmill, and I was able to produce 2 5-star tea tree seeds. And for now, I'm only going to plant the one. But I really like having this tea shrub. The tea gives you a pretty good amount of money, and it's versatile. It can be used in lots of different recipes, and tea never expires, so that's kind of a great item to have because you can sit on that and sell it at different points as well. So it's 8:30 now. I've decided just to come into the house because Kevin will start to show up around 8 a.m. if I'm not mistaken. Very rudely, I almost don't want to give you candy. I should be really mean and just give him like a carrot or something. Because he has no manners. Well, he said thank you at least. And then the 2 girls should be showing up after 9 a.m. or 10. They all show up before noon anyways, so I will just keep an eye on the clock. And I've decided now that the upper field is going to be home to not only the tea plants, but I'm also going to plant some of my trees up there. Alright, I have my hoe ready. And it's not gonna really help me that much by planting these on the very, very last day of the season. It's still going to take a long time for these to grow and to come in. But I'm going to grow myself an apple tree, a banana tree, a cherry tree, and then finally in this corner I'm going to put a peach tree. So we're losing one field, but honestly I don't really think I'm going to need it. By next year the bazaar should be fully expanded, and we can really focus on playing through very quickly, skipping days. Money is not really going to be that important. Going to the bazaar is really not going to be that important if we don't want to go. So forfeiting this little bit of real estate so that I'm able to make more recipes is definitely worth it for me. We'll let the girls come in and get their sweet, and even though they're twins, we only have to give them one item to share. So here you go, kids. Happy Pumpkin Day Festival. Which is, you know, basically Halloween. That will give us a nice little boost of friendship with the children of the village. But again, this is a completely optional holiday. It really doesn't give you as the player a lot of advantages, but it's very easy to give the children stuff as well, especially if you've started to cook and you have access to chocolate and milk and eggs. you can make them something very, very simple. And I do plan on checking on all of my friendships at the end, so we'll see where we're at. And then in my basement, I already went ahead and changed the season in here. I decided to switch things and change it up a little bit and go into the summer season. I'm still waiting for my wheat to come in. It's taking a very, very long time, but wheat can grow in every single season. So messing around with the seasonal sun is not an issue at all. This will still grow. My trees will still grow. You can see that this one has already entered its next stage. So these are coming along fine and they're growing despite the fact that I've changed the sun that I have. And as you can see, I've decided to start by growing some radishes. And I think in an attempt to increase the quality of the radishes when I was actually growing these in the summertime, I ended up with 4 or 5 different bags of seeds with varying qualities. And so I decided to plant these first just to get those seeds out of my inventory. You can see that I've got a bunch of different quality items here. I'm probably just going to turn these lower quality ones into radish soup. It'll give us something else to sell at the bazaar. Just to kind of clear the inventory out, because there are some situations here where I've gone really overboard and I have multiple stacks of varying qualities of seeds, which I absolutely don't need. So I'm now down to 2 different bags of radish seeds of varying qualities, and I think I brought that down from 5. So I've definitely saved myself a little bit of inventory space. You can see that the same situation has gone on with spinach, where I've just created multiple bags because I had created so many seeds in the windmill. And now that I've done that and I've made a little bit of space here, I can maybe look into planting some of my lower quality pumpkins to get rid of those. And then if I want to focus on income and money, then I'll think about planting some of my pineapple seeds. So changing it up a little bit because we had spring in here for so long, we really haven't changed it all year. Figured it was definitely time for a little bit of a change, and we will see what happens going forward and what I decide to plant, and hopefully this wheat comes in. I have lost track of when I actually planted this. I know it can take quite a while. It takes multiple seasons, but nothing has happened. It hasn't even changed from seeds at all, even with watering twice a day. And then in wintertime, of course, we're not going to be able to plant anything outside, so our basement will allow us to at least have some crop care, a few things to kind of focus on. All of these seeds will be safe. They'll just lie dormant, and I can continue to take care of them when spring rolls around. And tree care is just so super easy. All I'm gonna have to do is put fertilizer on these every single day when spring rolls around again. So there's gonna be a lot less management of the farm for me come next year if I continue to play. I'm gonna go through my inventory and see if I can find it. There's just one more thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is the fact that I have been getting quite a few golden eggs. It's taken me a very long time to make this correction, considering that the chicken festival was quite some time ago, but if your chicken wins the chicken festival like mine did, it will in fact have a chance to lay golden eggs. After the chicken festival, I had said that there was no change and nothing happened, but I was incorrect about that. But it just took a very long time for me to get them. I didn't think that it was possible or that it was going to happen. But I should have known better because I spent enough time in my windmill looking through all of the different items. And there is actually a recipe that you can use golden eggs for. If I can move my inventory around enough so that I can actually look. Thank you very much. If we scroll down a little ways here, the great mayonnaise, which we can make right now, does require you to have golden eggs to make them. So I should have known, even without having proof that my chicken could lay golden eggs, that you could get golden eggs, just based on the fact that I spend so much time looking through my windmill recipes. Should have caught that. I didn't. I realize it's taken me a very long time to sort of correct that, and I do apologize. I am going to put a little pinned comment in the chicken festival video. And really the last thing to do is just to look at some of our stats. We have been far, far, far out earning what we have spent, as you can see. We have made almost $3 million this year, and we've only spent a little bit over $1 million. Obviously a lot less that we are purchasing this year. So going into winter, it might be a good idea for me to think about some other things that I can spend some of my money on when I go to the bazaar. It might be a good time for me to get some more animals or to buy some of the food at the bazaar. Even if it doesn't interest me, I can spend the money and fill out my recipe book that way, perhaps. Stock up on cooking items. There just really isn't a lot for me to buy. And I've got a lot of money sitting in my wallet, but we have had very, very successful, good bazaars all year, and hopefully winter will continue to treat us well. We still have a ways to go when it comes to filling out our recipe log, but we are working on it, and I do plan on doing another look into cooking probably in the winter time, because there's probably not going to be very much for me to do. So we will continue to sort of fill out some of these recipes the best that we can. And I really need to try and focus on fishing, and I am going to try and do a little bit more of that in the winter time. And that's probably one of the things that I will spend some money on. I'll just buy the ore from Lloyd in order to increase the quality of my medium fishing rod. I have barely used it this year at all. So our fishing log is a little bit sad. I was able to catch a few new species of bugs in year 2 that unlocked in year 2. And 72 of 85 creatures. I think that that is pretty good. We're probably missing just some of the rarest of the rare ones that are very hard to catch. They're probably very fast, or they only come out during a certain time period. But we're only missing 13 of all the possible bugs that you can get in the game. Something to think about going into year 3. Maybe I'll have to make a list of what I'm missing and keep an eye out. Moving on to our friendships. Poor Amiko only has 2 hearts, and I have to be honest, I have completely forgotten all about her now that I'm married. I tried to go and give her a present, and she wouldn't accept it because it had been so long since I've talked to her. So her friendship is the lowest, but if we just completely ignore that and skip past her, you can see that we're not doing too badly. Giving lower level gifts to some of the villagers, I'm still able to increase their friendship. Someone like Dirk, I was able to find his most favorite gift. I bought a bunch of them just to spend the money, and I gave it to him, and you can see that his friendship shot right up. Amir, I'm waiting for him to come back. I keep forgetting that he's gone. I keep going to give him a gift, and I realize that he's gone away. I will probably squirrel away a few roasted eggplants for him because that is a really good gift for him, and shower him with some presents upon his return. And even some of the more difficult villagers that I had troubles giving gifts to in year 1, like Felix, you can see that he has caught up and he's got a pretty respectable friendship level. So I have continued to try and make friends with everybody in the village. Kevin is one of the easiest villagers ever to befriend, so he's way up there as well. And even someone like Raoul, who again I had a very hard time finding gifts for, and who I sometimes forget to actually talk to and give gifts to, is also at a pretty respectable friendship level. If we look at our calendar, we have the bazaar tomorrow to start us off strong. We actually have 2 bazaars in 1 week, but we have a chance to redeem ourselves and participate in the cat festival coming up in wintertime. And then we also have the snowboarding tournament. Now it's going to be the advanced course, a little bit of a different course than last year, so I'm going to have to practice. And then we will be spending our romantic festivals this year with our wife, obviously. So I'm gearing up for a little bit of a slower pace going into winter, but I am trying to think of all the things that I can do so that we'll be able to pass the time. And I'm hoping that everything will kind of come together by the winter time. I hope that we'll be able to finish the bazaar up, complete the storyline, and I'll kind of have a better idea by the end of winter of if I'm going to continue playing this, and if I am, how I'm going to continue into year 3, because there are still some things that unlock for us in year 3, believe it or not. So I'm saying goodbye to my all-time favorite season. Fall is still my favorite. Kept me very, very busy with all of my crops. I had a wonderful month, and I think I'm really, really happy with how I am going into wintertime. So I will be back tomorrow because we have a bazaar on the very first day. I'm going to prepare for that, and I will be back very shortly as we segue into winter, our final season of year 2. I want to thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.